stealing blue blood and countless dollars that, of course, were taken from your people. You, as well, can be with the ugliest human being walking the face of the earth. So, before we get to more, we actually want to tell you about who is behind this and specifically where the money comes from. There's been a lot of conjecture online, but we thought, hey, let's go to the single foremost expert on this subject to lead off the show. Let's bring on Data Republican.
Hi.
Hi.
So
and for people, nice to be with you. And for people who don't know, Data Republican, this is Data and Republican's interpreter, Terrell. Thank you for being with us. We very much appreciate it.
Thank you. I am the data interpreter. All of us both.
So are you, I mean, obviously you're sign fluent, but are you data fluent as well, Terrell? Sorry, this is for you, but you could go both ways.
Yeah, I can understand the data after the Data Republican explains it to me.
Yes. It's like,
she is the top.
Right.
She's the top expert, like you said. I just have her back. So
yes.
I'm ready.
And people can go to datarepublican.com. You can follow Data Republican at Data Republican on X. And I do have some questions for you, Miss Data, if I may. You have this interactive database on your website, meticulously lays out the funding behind these protests. And we do have a chart that we want to show the audience, because I'm sure, as you know, data can get overwhelming. Can you first explain this database, what you found, and how you used AI to help track the money flow?
Oh, yes, of course. I would love to. Oh, yes, yes. So I downloaded all of the 990 forms, and I was able to connect them together.
Right.
What I did was kind of like integrated all of the grants together, the charities, and the AI helps a lot with that. For example, you know, organizations like the Soros Foundation.
Yes.
They have filed something called a 990 EF. And what that does is that they report nonprofits that they give grants to, but they don't report the EIN identification number. So it's normally, it makes it really hard to connect them, but AI is able to make those matches.
Right. This is the...
You'll have to double check.
Sure.
Because AI...
Yes, plus AI can overtake us all. And I know that you've described, Data Republican, these DAFs, donor advised funds, as sort of a black box of the nonprofit world. I'd like you to explain it a little better, but I want to show a chart, and I believe Toolman can send this to you because, you know, this issue can be pretty complicated. So we took an example for the ACLU, and please tell us if we have this correct. This is an example of taxpayer dollars, right, that goes to the Tides Foundation. Yes, Tides Center, then the ACLU, and to Indivisible, which is No King. So I don't know if you can both see this, but this is kind of how we created this chart. And if you could help explain to people the DAF, because it is tough to fully track by design.
Yes. So what you need to understand is that most of this is very dark. And these politicians get all of their money from these DAFs, these donor advised funds. A DAF is not required to be transparent to who's actually giving the money. So it's like, for example, if like a lot of our tax money goes to organizations, and then that organization will give that money to some kind of DAF. And we have no idea who directs that money within the DAF or what they use that money for. And you're absolutely right. It's absolutely a black box. Like if Bill Gates gives a donor DAF $1 million, he can say, oh, give that to whoever, left-wing activist, whatever. And then the DAF will make that donation on his behalf. But the money somehow ends up in the wrong place with like a violent group or something like that. It's really easy to deny.
Right. And some of the most notable examples of organizations, and I'd love to hear which ones you think stand out the most, because we don't know how much, to be clear, how many tax dollars go to Indivisible. But the ACLU, the Teachers Union, for example, there's a lot of influence from crypto. Which ones stood out the most to you?
The major group
Yes, the major groups that stood out the most.
Indivisible, yes, that's one of them. The other one, and they're all Soros groups.
Yes.
These are all Soros groups. I just want to be very clear. The AFL-CIO, Weingarten, and there's also a Swiss businessman, a billionaire, called Hans-Jörg Wyss. Soros and Hans-Jörg Wyss, they finance all of these protests. But I see the AFL-CIO supports that as well.
Right. Yeah, that is one thing too. These unions, by the way, that of course this goes through a DAF. They receive taxpayer dollars, and then it goes through several steps and goes to Indivisible. Who can you have them send me the total number, Indivisible, what they have in their coffers?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's not for you. That's for my researchers. Also, a CC.
The AFL-CIO takes $62 million. Yes, they take $62 million, and that is why that's why they are our quote unquote soft power organization called Solidarity Center.
Yes.
The AFL-CIO takes their money, and what do they do with it? They give it to protests and color revolutions all over the world.
Yes, well, I was actually punched in the face live on television in Michigan by an AFL-CIO SEIU member. So that was fun.
$12.8 million.
Mike Benz actually predicted this. Mike Benz was the one who threw it down. He said that the AFL-CIO would be leading these violent protests right here, and he was right.
Yes. And
there's a guy called Randy Weingarten, and he also happens to be on the board of the NDI.
Yes.
Right, which is underneath it, which is with all that embroiled with the NED, and that's the Democrats' soft power organization of the world.
Yes. No, absolutely. We have some clips from Randy Weingarten later, and this is what's so corrupt. This is the teachers union advocate. Indivisible has about $12 million.
12.8 in gross receipts is what it looks like.
It's Soros, AFL-CIO, and this guy, this millionaire Wyss, that have supported and funded these color revolutions.
Now, let me ask you this. Is there any way or hope of finding out just how much of the dollars going to Indivisible are taxpayer dollars? Because I know you haven't claimed that you have that, but do you think that your data warrants an investigation? Is that what you're hoping for?
It's actually hard to say because if we wanted to stop these DAFs, we have to stop the politicians who support them. But DAFs mean that we can't really convince them to be transparent because they don't have to be.
Right. Yeah. So it would require an investigation to actually look into this and reveal more records to know what percentage are taxpayer dollars.
Yes, we would have to do a deep investigation to see where and if it's really all of our tax dollars. No, it is.
Well, the good news is I think that may be coming down the pike, and I think that that's thanks to you. So, Data Republican, we appreciate your work. What's the one thing you want people to know, and where's the best place for people to find you?
So the important thing is to understand that there is a huge amount of money that is going into this ecosystem, and we really truly can't have any idea how big this business is. And a lot of our money goes into it, and it's so hard to track. But we're slowly figuring out all of this, and AI is definitely helping. And the best way to find me is to follow me on X and subscribe to my Substack. Also, make sure that you are awake and following this money, and you can do it yourself on the Data Republican website as well. All the tools are there for you.
Oh, great. Well, thank you so much. And Data Republican, this is a great service to the country. We really do appreciate it. And thank you for coming on the show. Please keep us posted, and we'll blast out any information we can.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. We will definitely do that.
Thank you both. Have a great night. Data Republican and Terrell, everybody.